Okay, take three. Three. This is the third time I've tried to make this video. I really hope it goes well this time. Uh, so yeah, I don't know what's going on. My QuickTime is like messing up for some reason. It keeps skipping. So I hope that doesn't happen this time. Uh, but anyway, hello. My name is Jordan. I am also known as Defcos. I am a One Piece fanboy extraordinaire, and I am here today to do a reread review of volume 23 of One Piece. A great volume. It's the end of the Alabasta Arc. It's really good. Um, so I keep doing this. This is, like I said, this is the third time I've been trying to do this video. Uh, but I wanted to talk at the top of the video. I wanted to talk about episode 1015 of the One Piece anime. That's the most recent episode that dropped. And it's funny because I think it was last video, if not, it was the video before that. I mentioned that um, I love the One Piece anime, but I don't love it as much as the manga, which still remains the case. But I do love the anime, and I especially love it when we get great episodes like 1015. 1015 was great. Everything with Yamato and Ace, the Red Rock, the way the episode was directed, um, the way it was animated, everything about it was just fascinating. It was just really really well done. And I wish that One Piece could be of that level, of that caliber, every week. Because if it was, I actually might prefer the anime, but that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Um, the manga still wins in my opinion, but yeah, but like 10 and 15 was so good. Everything about it. Like if you happen to watch anime at all and you happen to watch me right now, I would highly recommend to go check out that episode and just watch it because it's very well done. And I wish One Piece could be like that every week because holy crap. Um, so yeah, so I just wanted to talk to acknowledge episode 1015 at the top of this episode because it's funny how I just mentioned I was just talking about the anime recently and then this episode dropped. So I just wanted to take a second to talk about it. But yeah, let's get into the reread review of uh, of volume 23, which is the end of the Alabasta arc. And while reading this, I was like, wow, like if the live action, like if they do it right, it could be like really good. Like it could be like Emmy worthy stuff. But anyway, let's um let's read the forward as I always do. This is a little bit of a longer forward, so I'll read it. Nowadays, every book I read says that the mermaids that sailors of yore saw might actually have been dugongs. But there's something I'd like to say to those scholars. Imagine a sailor back in the old days. Let's call him Mr. Nishimura. He says, I saw a mermaid. And that's how the mermaid legend gets started. Then you come along and say, maybe what you saw was a dugong. Great. And now the whole world believes you. Can you imagine how disappointed Mr. Nishimura is? He's probably crying himself to sleep in the other world right now. I saw a mermaid, really. But cheer up, Mr. Nishimura. Dugongs are pretty cute, too. Ichiro Oda, 2002. All right, so we pick up where we left off. Damn, the light is not great in my apartment right now. Let's see if I can do something about that. Okay, we get to Shigi, who runs into members of the Baroque Works. The Straw Hats are still trying to take out the bomb that's about to go off, the big cannonball that's about to fire and explode everything. Um, so it's complete chaos right now in Alabasta. Luffy versus Crocodile is raging on. This is their third fight in the mausoleum. And Luffy got hit by the poison hook, by Crocodile's poison hook. But he's not faltering. Like, he kind of passes out a little bit at some point, but he gets back up and keeps fighting right after that. So then the Straw Hats figure out a way to get to the top of the clock tower where the bomb is. Usopp's at the bottom. Sanji is a little further up. Zorro is a little further up, and Vivi is going to like jump on each of them in order to get to the top of the clock tower. So I actually remembered this part pretty vividly. Um, I don't know. I didn't own this volume. I'm pretty sure that before I bought this volume a few years ago, uh, I didn't own it before that. So I'm trying to figure out like how I remembered it so vividly. Um, I mean, I had read it before. I definitely had read it before, but I felt like it felt so familiar to me that it feels like I must have had this volume like in my hands at some previous point, which is very possible. Uh, but I'm trying to remember how exactly I read it, and I can't really remember. Um, Maybe I was just at like a bookstore and I was just reading it or something like that. Um, so Vivi jumps on all the straw hats on top of the clock tower and gets to the top of the clock tower. Um, yeah, the bomb is like literally seconds away from going off. Yeah, and then we get Luffy that's kind of on the ground because he got hit by the poison hook. Um, and Crocodile thinks he's won. But then Luffy gets back up. Yeah, so Vivi gets to the top of the clock tower. She uses her peacock slasher to take out Mr. Three and Mr. I mean not Mr. Three. I don't know why I said Mr. Three. Mr. Seven and Miss Father's Day. And then she cuts the fuse of the bomb. Yeah, and it's amazing how many pages go by. Like literally, it's like 5 seconds. It's like 5 seconds at like tops, even less than that. And there's so many pages that are going by. Like literally since the beginning of this volume, it's been like a few seconds. And I actually have this memory of Vivi putting out the fuse with her hand. I must be thinking of something else, but for some reason I remember Vivi like grabbing the fuse with both hands and like extinguishing it that way. But that didn't happen in this volume, so I don't know why I have that memory. It's really weird. She cut the fuse with her peacock slasher, but then they realized that the bomb is actually on a timer, and that whether you cut the fuse or not doesn't matter. The bomb is still gonna go off. So basically, the entire all everything that happens at the beginning of this volume with the Straw Hats trying to turn off to like get the fuse to not go on. All of that was for nothing because the bomb is still gonna go off. So getting up to the top of the clock tower, which was pretty awesome how they did that. That was all for no reason. Um, but then Pell shows up. Pell shows up. Um, and I wonder why the bomb didn't go off, actually. I feel like it should have gone off because she cut the fuse, and you think, oh, that's why it doesn't go off. But it's going to go off anyway because of the timer. So why didn't it just go off right then and there? It's like there's still a little bit of time after they get to the top. But Luffy gets back up. And this happens in a lot of Luffy's fights. Like his opponent thinks that they beat him, and then he gets back to his feet, and they just stare at him like, "What? Like how are you still on your feet right now? Like what the hell is going on?" That happened. That happened versus Rob Lucci too. And then he says, "I'm gonna be king of the pirates." Then he breaks Crocodile's poison hook. And then we get Pell, who shows up where the bomb is and Vivi is. And we get a little flashback where we get a little bit of development between Pell and Vivi's relationship. Like Pell would take Vivi flying on his back um, when she was a little girl. And then Pell just grabs the bomb, which conveniently has a little handle on it, and he just flies it up into the air. He just flies like upward with the bomb. And then the bomb just explodes. Huge explosion. And we assume that Pell dies because he's holding the bomb while it goes off. He's the only one, in the vicinity of the bomb. But we find out later, and I forget when Pell shows up again because it's not in this volume. But apparently, I know that Pell didn't die. I know that he comes back later. I guess it's next volume. I don't remember when he comes back, but he comes back, and turns out that he's actually not dead. So that happens in One Piece sometimes, where a character will seemingly receive fatal damage, like fatal and some kind of fatal injury, and then it turns out that they're actually not dead. That something happened that resulted in them surviving. So that's something that the fans criticize. I've noticed a lot in One Piece is like, you know, that's something that Oda doesn't like to do is kill off characters. Like he'll kill off a character every blue moon, but for the most part, he'll just make you think that a character's dead and then bring them back. Um, but yeah, so the bomb goes off. Vivi's trying to get everybody to stop fighting, and they've been fighting for a long time. Like the rebels and the World Army have been fighting for like several volumes at this point. Okay, so Crocodile, like Luffy's beating the shit out of Crocodile. And then he does the Gomu Gomu no Storm. I always like this kick here where he like kicks him in the air. This kick right here. He like kicks Crocodile upward. And then he does Gomu Gomu no Storm where he does Gum Gum Balloon, and then he like twists himself around, and then he exhales all the air to send himself flying. And then he does Gum Gum Gatling Gun, and that is Gum Gum Storm. And he does it right while Crocodile does Desert Spada. And then I even put a post-it note here. He does this huge attack, that double page spread that just takes out Crocodile. and then we get they're under the ground. They're like underground, and he breaks out from underground and goes flying into the air. And that's the move that defeats Crocodile. Excuse me while I have a sip of beer. So that's what beats Crocodile. So that was pretty epic as fuck. But I wonder how they're gonna do that in the live action. Like that's the thing. Like how much CGI is gonna go into the live action? I wonder. A lot, probably. Like a lot. Like is he gonna really do Gum Gum Storm? Like are they gonna make Inaki Godoy like balloon up and twist around and then like fly into the air and then like do a bunch of punches? Like is that what's gonna happen? They're probably gonna change it. It's probably gonna be different. Yeah, and then it starts to rain. It starts to rain right as Crocodile gets defeated. Yeah, Vivi even says the nightmare is finally over. And then you see Crocodile defeated. KO. KO. And then Luffy does his smile, his victory smile. Um, yeah, that was pretty dope. This whole volume is pretty awesome. Oh yeah, and then Igaram shows up, and he's holding the little boy. I think his name is Kappa, and he tells everybody, "Oh yeah, that was all Baroque works." Like he tells the rebels, uh, "Yeah, you guys got it wrong. Like that was Baroque works. That wasn't the Royal Army and stuff like that. They attacked Nanohana. They were imposters. The king was an imposter." Um, so he tells them all that now. Better late than never, I guess. Yeah, so then King Cobra is carrying Luffy on his back, and he meets up with the rest of the Straw Hats. Um, oh yeah, and here we get a cool scene where we see all the defeated members of Baroque Works. They're all defeated, and then Mr. Two is the only one who's on his feet, and he says, "Just you wait," and he's like walking away in this page right here, and he's literally the only one on his feet. He's the only one that didn't get completely knocked out. Sanji kind of spared him. Yeah, long live Alabasta. So yeah, so this is the end of the Alabasta arc. Um, and here we get the introduction of Black Cage Hina, who I always thought was a cool character. Like I like her design. She actually kind of looks like Vivi a little bit with her hair down. But I always thought she looked cool with the black suit, and I like how she talks about herself in the third person. Um, but we definitely don't see a lot of Hina. Like we see her here. I know she shows up again at some point, not long after this. I forget exactly when, but I remember reading a chapter where she shows up, and we see her use her powers, like where she's able to. It's hard to explain, but she can like. There's a guy. There's like a pirate, and she puts her arm out, and she passes her arm through the guy, and as she passes her arm through him, she's able, like her arm like wraps around him, and then separates, and then the guy is like uh, wrapped up in her arm. I don't know if I explained that well, but it's kind of hard to explain. But we get to see her powers a little bit later on. Um, but after that, she really doesn't show up that much. Like Hina, we see her once in a blue moon, and she doesn't do much whenever she shows up. I guess this volume is like the most she's ever done. Um, oh yeah, and this is a cool part right here where Tashigi actually, like the Straw Hats are all passed out on the ground from exhaustion, and the Marines are like, "Let's go grab them! Like, let's go grab the Straw Hats. They're out. They're like down and out. Like, let's go get them." And Tashigi's like, "No, you can't. We have to let them go. Leave them alone." So that's like a pretty cool Tashigi moment, I think. I forbid you to lay a finger on these pirates. Oh, I guess I'm just seeing this now. I guess I wasn't paying attention, but I think the rain was being made um, by a ship. It says a Baroque works ship, downpour rain making ship. So I guess that's what was making the rain. Yeah, and also for some reason I thought Koza had more to do in this whole arc. Like, um, I guess it's like I guess it's because I owned Volume 22, and he shows up in that volume and like waves the white flag and talks to I guess who did he talk to again? But anyway, he shows up in that volume, and for some reason, like I thought Koza had like a bigger role, but he doesn't do that much. I mean, he's the leader of the rebellion, but he doesn't do a ton. Um, okay, so the Straw Hats are all sleeping at the royal palace, and Vivi's trying to decide if she should go with them or not, if she should like sail off with them. Oh yeah, and this is a cool part here. Tashigi meets back up with Smoker, and Hina's there too, and they get a call from the Marine headquarters, and the Marines are trying to make it seem like they're the ones that took out Crocodile. So the report says, uh, "Oh, you and Tashigi are gonna get medals because you captured Crocodile." And then Smoker's like, "What are you talking about? We didn't capture Crocodile. It was the Straw Hats who defeated him." And they're like, "Yeah, but we can't let the world know that a bunch of pirates, uh, liberated Alabasta. It has to be you guys." And then Smoker's like, "Nah, fuck that. We're not going." So that's a cool Smoker moment. Oh yeah, and here we get the kind of like the epilogue of the arc. It's like the aftermath. The Straw Hats are like chilling. I guess it's like the next day. Um, Luffy's like, "Wow, I slept good." Oh yeah. Oh no, I think he said he slept for 3 days. Yeah, he slept for 3 days. They have a big feast. That's always what happens in One Piece. When at the end of a big arc, they always have a big feast. They're like partying. Then they go into the bathhouse. Um, oh yeah, and I wasn't 100% sure what happened here. they're all like all the dudes are staring at the girls' bath, and then Vivi's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And then Nami says, "Happiness punch," and her towel is slipping down, and she says that'll be 100,000 berries each. I guess a million berries each. Um, and I guess she's like showing her tits off. I'm like kind of realizing how many times we get to see like Nami's boobs. I mean, we don't actually get to see like her boobs like completely, but it's implied quite a bit. I mean, I guess not that much. Oh yeah, and here we get Luffy gets his bounty increased, and Zorro gets a bounty because they beat Crocodile. Oh yeah, and then Django and Full Body show up, and they're Marines now, and they're like Hina's underlings. Okay, so the Straw Hats are taking the Supersonic Duck Squadron to their ship to Mary. Then we get a flashback that Mr. Two actually called them and told them that he took their ship because the Marines were about to take it. So he went ahead and took their ship and sailed it away so that the Marines wouldn't take their ship. Oh yeah, and then they tell Vivi, "Oh, if you're gonna come with us, like we'll give you some time to think about it because it's a big decision for her. But if you're gonna come with us, like we'll meet at the East Port, and if you're coming with us, you can meet us there, and we'll gladly have you with us." And then Luffy even says, "Come on, Vivi, you have to come. Come with us now." So Luffy really wanted Vivi to come with them, and I guess everybody did, and Vivi wanted to go too. It would have been something else if Vivi had actually gone with them. But I guess we would have gotten Vivi and Nico Robin coming at the same time, like officially becoming Straw Hats at the same time. Oh yeah, so then the Marines uh, go after them. Vivi's getting ready for her big speech, her like coming of age speech. And here we get yeah, I put a post note here just because we get a scene where the Mary has a bunch of spears in it. And I had forgotten about this part, but the Mary definitely gets damaged, and we can tell. Like as you read, you can tell. Like Oda knew that he was gonna change the ships, after a while, and he knew he probably had like the whole Water Seven arc in his head already, like the whole Enos Lobby Water Seven stuff, where they change ships, um, because the Mary gets damaged quite a bit right here. Oh yeah, and then they say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna sail ahead because we have to pick up a friend." And Mister Two is like, "Oh, the Marines are gonna come after you if you sail that way," and they're like, "It's okay, like we have to pick up a friend." We get a cool shot of Vivi in her princess attire. So yeah, so then they created a version, the Mister Two ship and the Straw Hat ship created a version. They think the Straw Hats are on Mister Two's ship, but it's actually just Mister Two and his like crew are dressed as the Straw Hats, like right here. Thought that was pretty awesome to like create a diversion. Uh, that kind of reminded me. That panel reminded me of the fake Straw Hats right after this time skip when they go back to Sabaody, and they run into the fake Straw Hats that are trying to pretend to be the Straw Hats. That's what that reminded me of. And then they sink his ship. The Marines sink Mr. Two's ship. So he's like sacrificed himself for the Straw Hats. Oh yeah, and then the Straw Hats fight the Marines, like the Marines that are coming after them. Uh, and then Vivi does her speech. She does her big speech. Um, but it actually turns out she's not even there. It's Igaram who's dressed as Vivi. Igaram dresses in drag sometimes. He dresses as Vivi specifically. um, but yeah, so Vivi was actually at the East Port talking into a Denden Mushi, and Igaram was posing as her. So then she sees the Straw Hats and she says, "I can't go with you. Thank you for everything. I've come to say goodbye. I'd like to continue my adventures, but when it comes down to it, I love this kingdom, so I can't go." Um, yeah, then we get a little flashback of them putting the X's on their wrists. And then she says, "But if we ever see each other again, will you call me your shipmate?" And then Luffy starts to yell at her, "Someday we'll." And then he gets cut off by by Nami, and Nami says the Navy is watching. If they know that she's like associated with us, that won't be good for her. So we can't like yell at her and like tell them that we're friends. So instead, they all just raise their wrist. They all just raise their wrist and show the X. And this is like such a memorable moment. Like I've been talking about a lot of memorable moments in One Piece, but this one is pretty high up there as far as memorable moments go. And I think this is the first time we actually see the X on all of their wrists, especially at the same time. So this is like a really impactful moment and a really, really like dope One Piece moment. And it's just like a symbol of their friendship and their bond. And then, then that's the end of Volume 23. So yeah, that was awesome. I'm a big fan of that volume. I actually had to go back and reread the second half of it because I kind of like rushed through it. I don't know why, but the first time I read it, I kind of rushed through the second half of it, like the kind of like the epilogue part of it. I don't know why, but I kind of rushed through it. And so before I made this video, I was like, you know what? Let me go back and reread that just to make sure I'm fully grasping everything that's happening in that volume. So I did, and I'm glad I did because it's really awesome. It's really really awesome and well done. And it got me thinking like, wow, like if they do the live action right, like it could really be something special. So I really hope that they do the live action right. Although, who knows? Who knows? Fingers crossed. I hope it'll be good. I really do. Um, so yeah, so that was an awesome volume. Uh, I just got a notification today. I got an email that volume 24 has shipped from Amazon or whoever I was buying it from via Amazon. Um, and so that's on its way. So hopefully I'll be receiving that before Sunday. And then on Sunday I can do another video. If I don't receive it before Sunday, I'm gonna have to wait until next Wednesday. Hopefully I'll receive it before next Wednesday. Uh, and if I don't receive it before Sunday, I'll have to do a video next Wednesday because I don't have any more One Piece volumes. This was the last volume of the box set. that I bought. Um, I really wanted to buy the second box set, but couldn't because it's out of stock. So I have to start buying the volumes individually. And then once I reach whatever once I finish buying the contents of the second box set, I'm gonna buy the third box set because that one is in stock, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if you indeed watch me talk about One Piece for over a half an hour, thank you very much. Um, I will see you in the very near future. Have a good one.